If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference, become a moment maker, and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Welcome back to another episode of TSP.
Hello.
Today, my esteemed colleague, Richard Andrew Stefan Farr.
Stefan. I like that. Stefan. That's good. French.
Yeah, today we sit down with Greg. How you doing today, Greg?
Hi, Greg.
Oh, good. How you guys doing?
Excellent. I want to thank you, Greg, for joining us. What we do here is we every Sunday evening we talk to a veteran, get their life story. We drum up some interest, and whatever money is conjured up during this conversation, we turn around and we send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members to awesome events. It's our way of saying thank you and hopefully stop.
But definitely not to the Preds because they suck. I'm sorry. They got their asses handed to them last night. Holy shit.
Well,
Damn, Utah.
hockey is over with.
It is. I mean, my Bruins are out. The Preds are out.
How did the Bruins, like, they went from the top of the heap last year, the year before, to the bottom of the heap? What the?
They are in dead last place. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's coaching. I mean, obviously, on your other podcast, the Nosebleed Report, I'd love for you to, like, dive into why the Bruins are horrible this year. And I love them. I've loved the Bruins since '84, and I will still love them. They're still my team. But why? Why?
Did they win the President's Cup like 2 years ago?
I think so. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, and Tampa Bay just won the Toronto?
This year?
Toronto? Yeah, this year is Toronto or Tampa Bay.
I don't know.
Shit. Hold on, let me look it up.
I have no idea what the hell happened to Boston, man.
Presidents. Cup.
For you who do not know what a President's Cup is, it's the team with the best, the most points in NHL at the end of the season.
The Red Wings. Well, they won in.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, 2001, 2002. The Blackhawks won in 2007, 2008. It doesn't say who won, so I don't know.
Somebody did.
Sorry.
So, anyways, yeah, that's what we do. We send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members to sporting events, and it's a great time. And we upgraded our tickets this year for Detroit Lions.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll be sending people to bougie seats now instead of nosebleed seats. We're moving up in the world.
Wait. You got bougie seats? Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, we got right down in the action now.
No way. Oh, dude, I got to go to one of those. I've never been to a bougie football game before. I've always sat in the nosebleeds.
Oh, man, they're going to be right in the action this year. It's going to be awesome.
That's awesome, man.
But a little health update.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
So on Wednesday, this is actually pre-recorded, so it's confusing. Tomorrow's Wednesday, but Wednesday the 23rd, we'll be going to the hospital, having surgery, having some cancer removed. Hopefully they get it all, and I with my life. It's been a rough 6 months, man. A little kick in the face, but I'm sure we shall prevail.
You will prevail, dude. You will. You got this. You're strong. You're United States Navy. Semper Fortis, dude. Semper fucking Fortis.
And I will be out of work for 4 or 5 weeks. I will be back to work in June. This Thursday is my last day. I'll be laying around the house, not doing anything, getting better. So
And no podcasts. I mean, we're taking a break from podcasts. I mean, for a couple weeks, right? We got
I have
a couple lined up.
we'll depends on how I feel. We'll see.
Okay.
I really don't like missing Sundays, but you know, if I have to, I have to. My health is more important right now.
That's good.
So, speaking of that, Greg just had his staples out today.
Good. Hey, congratulations, Greg.
We'll get to him in a sec. Do you have anything before we get on to Greg?
I wanna give a shout out to Boston Skelly Cap, the Violet Rose, which I'm wearing today.
Not sponsored, by the way, but feel free to call us. And
And it is now my Purple Heart flat cap.
like,
So thank you, Boston Skelly Company, for that, because it's perfect. It goes perfectly with my Purple Heart medal. And sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, call us for sponsorship, Boston.
Hey, Boston Skelly guys, I've been emailing you. We've got a couple birthdays coming up this year. We've got the Army in June. We got the Navy in October, and we got the Marine Corps in November. And guess what? We all turn 250 fucking years old. Let's get some really cool flat caps for the birthdays, okay? And this is in honor of the Bruins. This is called the Goon because I am a goon and I am missing a tooth, just like in the middle of this hat. So, Boston Skelly Cap, Boston Skelly Company, thank you so much. A couple things. We've got Marine Week in Nashville, Tennessee, June 1st to the 7th. Be there, be square. And then we've also got the Great Tennessee Air Show, where the Blue Angels will be there June 7th and 8th in Smyrna, Tennessee. Come on down. I will be selling ice cream and water.
Yeah.
And the profits made from that will go directly to Ton Tavern. Greg, did you know that we are rebuilding Ton Tavern?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Good, because you're talking to the Ton, as it says in my title, the Ton Tavern Militia Commander for Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So I will be sending you all kinds of goodies, and we need you to spread the word about the Ton Tavern November 8th, 9th, and 10th of this year. Huge party in Philadelphia. The Commandant of the Marine Corps will be there, and a lot of other guests. Major General James Livingston, who I have his coin, he will be there. Medal of Honor winner and 2 Purple Hearts. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be amazing. And that's it. That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stefan Farr.
Thank God I'm a little French because I don't take that much offense to it. Oui, oui. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Yeah. All right. Greg, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. My name is Greg Edwards, and I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years.
Yup.
And I'm just honored to be on this podcast. I really am.
You're so excited. I love it, man. I love it.
I
Sorry.
am.
Greg, continue. I'm sorry. This is awesome.
No, that's all right. I'm just really honored. When I saw that you guys were looking for vets to be on your podcast, I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a shot and see what happens, And when you guys reached back out to me, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this,
Yep.
And I think it was like last December, I think it was something like that when, I talked to Richard, I think it was.
Yeah, him. He does all the communications. I see it, but it's I give him the chance to talk to all the people. I'm just the comic relief. So
Well, Where'd you grow up? Where did Greg Edwards grow up?
Yeah. Where are you
Okay.
from?
I'm from Lafayette, Indiana, Purdue
Fun.
University country. Don't hold that against me. I've been a fan, and I went to high school there at Lafayette Jefferson. I used to think it was just that I was ignorant, but I just had ADHD, and it took me a little bit before I could graduate. And a buddy of mine uh, that I played football with since fifth grade, he went in he actually graduated a year before I did, and he went in the Marine Corps before I did. Anyway, his dad was already passed away, cancer, and he
Mm.
came home for he was on recruiting duty, and he called me up one night, and actually I had just talked to the Army recruiter, and I was going to take the ASVAB for the Army,
Dude.
and my friend Carl called me up, who I
It's
still keep in touch with this guy
it's
too.
scaled easier for the Army side.
Army is ain't ready for Marines yet.
That is so true.
But anyway,
We're gonna
Carl
give a
called
lot of
me up.
shit for that one.
Oh yeah, I'm in the comments is going to be like, what? But Carl called me up that night. I was at home, and he was at the recruiter's office. The recruiter's name was Gunny Fennell.
Ooh.
I'll never forget him as long as I live. And they came over to the house. I think maybe that night or the next night. And I'm an only child. I have no brothers or sisters. Mom, dad were like, okay, well, do you want to do this? I mean, it's up to you. So I went ahead and signed the papers that night that they came over. And Carl was telling me a little bit about what he's done. And he'd been in a year at that time. So I think that was probably around right before I graduated high school. It was probably around April or, beginning of May. But I didn't go until September because I had to take summer school, take one class just in order to graduate.
What year?
1984. I should have graduated in
Holy
83.
shit! I was like very young and in California watching the Olympics as I saw my first basketball game and soccer game in '84. Oh my god, wait, I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old when you. Oh my god, holy shit! Damn, I'm young.
41 years ago.
Fuck.
So I graduated. I graduated boot camp. I went into boot camp in September of that year and graduated in December.
Paris Island,
And like I
right?
said, what's that?
You go to Paris Island?
No, I went to San Diego. Actually, I was a
Oh, you're
Hollywood
a
Marine.
Hollywood Marine?
Yeah, I was. I was on the east side of the Mississippi, so
Oh,
they
damn.
always say that if you're on the east side, that you go to Paris Island,
And
and
then west side, you go,
yeah.
yeah.
And it just, I mean, we always had little battles in the Marine Corps about that, Oh, we had Stanfleet, we got Mount Mother, I mean,
Now, mother.
it was
I heard.
it was a back and forth thing, but when I went in, I was overweight, and I actually, well, just a little tidbit here. I started running when I was in eighth grade. And that's probably why my hip is all messed up, and I had to get a new hip. But anyway, when I started running when I was in eighth grade, and I used to jog a lot, and um, then my senior year, I just got real lazy, started partying, and the recruiters like, every Saturday we meet at the office, and we go for a run, we do some pull ups and sit ups and everything, and Friday night I was out partying, so Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, I was in bed, so I was overweight, and when I went in, they had to put me in what they called uh, physical conditioning
PCP.
platoon, pork chop platoon.
Yep.
So I was in there for about 2 weeks, and I was like, man, there's no way I can do this. I got to get out of here. So my pull-ups was the only thing that was holding me back. So I finally got the minimum, and they put me back into three of them. So I finally got back into a regular unit, and it was actually not with the just you know, and it was actually it wasn't the guys that I originally went in there with. They were already ahead of me 2 weeks. So,
So you
but I made it.
you had to start from day one after you did 2 weeks of.
Yeah, I had to start all over again.
Oh damn!
And but see, I knew what to expect. I knew when the DIs came in, they kicked over our Foot Lockers and started yelling at us, calling us everything, but you could possibly think of. I was ready for that because I had already experienced it one time. So all these guys were like running around and everything, and I'm like, I mean, it's just total chaos. But it didn't bother me because I already knew what to expect. It was like, well, I've already been through this before. 3 days later after they introduced themselves, that's when they had the PT to see if we were fit. So, but anyway, yes, I had to start over day one.
You spent
So,
15 weeks on the island.
oh, yeah, I think, let's see,
Not
September,
island, sorry, in California. I'm sorry, my bad.
yeah, September 5th through December 15th.
Jesus!
Yeah,
God, that's a long time. Holy
yeah,
shit.
you talk about being salty when I got out.
Jeez, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Wow.
It wasn't.
Yeah. What's that?
At least it wasn't summertime.
Yeah.
No, and the weather was, I mean, even to December out in San Diego, we had Black Flag days, which means we couldn't march to the chow hall. We had to just walk. So,
Had a week of
but
that. A week of Black Flag days when I was there the
oh,
summertime in Paris time. They got to haze us inside instead of outside, which is awesome.
no. But anyway, yeah, it just and then when I got out of boot camp, man, I tell you what, my attitude had just changed big time. I mean, I wasn't lazy anymore. Granted, I still had the ADHD. I just, it's hard dealing with things. And I was trying to figure out me,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Yeah.
just came home and it's like my buddies were still doing the same crap. They were hanging out, partying and everything. And I went and hung out with them for a little bit, but then I just couldn't deal with it.
Hanging
We were
out in the
just acting
block.
like kids. It's like, man, I'm a man now, And I mean, I know that sounds bad, but I think that's with any branch. You just come out a different person,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
you know. So
So where'd you go after boot camp?
I came home. I was only home I wasn't even home that long. I think I was home for like maybe 9 or 10 days, and then they sent me out to 29 Palms. Like I said, I went in open contract. Yeah, yeah. Armpit of the Marine Corps.
I've been twice, and I hate that place. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
No offense,
No,
but
no,
I hate
no.
29 Palms. Hate it.
It was rough. It was
Oh,
bad. I was out there from December to April, December of '84 to April of '85, and it was hot then, man. It was just and like it'd be 90 degrees during the day, and then at night it'd get down to 30 degrees.
yep.
You couldn't keep from not being sick. I mean, just the temperature change. But anyway, I tried to get a different flight out, and they couldn't come up with anything, so I had to fly out Christmas Day out of Indianapolis, Indiana, to get to 29 Palms. And actually, I flew into LAX, and they had like a limo service from the base come pick us. There were like three of us, I think, maybe. Well, it was like, it wasn't,
Not like
nothing
it. Okay.
major.
All right. That's
Yeah, and
cool.
no, it was just, I mean, to get the guys on base because they don't have an airport out there. Well, I think there might be an air wing unit. I remember. But anyways, no commercial flights. Might be just, helicopters or whatever. But anyway, I went through comm school. I was a field radio operator. And
Oh,
yeah, I'm a communications guy.
he's an '06. Oh, he's an '06. Ooh, nice. I
And
love calm guys.
so I went out to, and then when I was in 29 Palms, they wanted to know where I wanted to go to get stationed at. Of course, every young Marine's first choice is Hawaii. And then I put down Camp Pendleton for my second choice. Well, and then and then I put my third choice was Camp Lejeune. Well, so I went to they sent me to Camp Lejeune, and it was cool because I was closer to home. Being an only child, I missed my mom and dad and everything, so I got to go home on 96, 96s. 72s was kind of pushing it, but 96s I could go home. I could leave on a Thursday and be back to the base on a Sunday. So, but And it was yeah, I was stationed. I was with I was with an infantry unit,
Which one?
and then shortly after I got there, there's about 5 or 6 of us that were young, the young guys, and they got us together and into the comm shop, and staff NCO said, "Hey, we're going to send you guys out to Arizona to learn how to call airstrikes and medevacs." And oh man, that was groovy, because I mean I was just like,
Nine
I learned how to
line.
read a map, 6 grid cord. To this day, I can't get lost. My wife's like, "Where are we going?" I'll show you. Don't worry about it. I'll show you. So I went out to Yuma, Arizona, and I think for about a month, and they would drop us out in the middle of the desert for like 4 or 5 days at a time, and then we go back to the base. But it was quite the experience. I mean, waking up in the morning, kicking the boots, making sure there's no rattlesnakes or scorpions or anything like
Camel
that.
spiders. Camel spiders.
Oh man, yeah, I heard. Oh gosh, never. I never seen them, but
I
I
seen
heard a lot
one.
about them.
It's disgusting looking. Oh my God, it's
Oh man.
terrible.
But anyway, so I went back to Camp Lejeune, and I think in '86 is when we went over to the Mediterranean, and that was quite an experience. I love that. I really enjoyed ship life, and I think I was telling you guys earlier before we started, how we hit a real bad storm going over there. I didn't get seasick.
Lucky.
By the grace of God, I didn't get, yeah, I was just like, so in the morning, I'd get up and the chow line there'd be nobody there. It'd be empty. I'd just get right through, and
Dude,
the syrup was still there from the pancakes.
two Dramamines
Oh
behind
yeah,
my,
I
like
see. I
one
didn't.
on
I
each
didn't
ear,
even.
man. I was so sick. Oh my God, it was terrible.
I didn't have to do that, man. I was like, it just didn't affect me. And and the USS Fairfax County was LST, flat bottom, so it was just a rocking, and
Land ship tank.
yeah, there was an LAV unit that was in the belly that we were there was 4 companies, well actually three infantry companies in our battalion, and each company was attached to a different unit. We had one that was attached to LAVs, one that flew in on the helicopters that repelled, yeah, and then rubber boats, I think, rubber rafts, something like that,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
one of the other
a boat
ships.
crew. Yeah, boat crew. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and so, but it was really neat. I loved it. I enjoyed the ship life. Just it was different, and like I said, I met a lot of friends on there. A lot of guys that were in the Navy. A lot of guys were, and then I think halfway through, I became a cook for the chief petty officers. And you talk about eating good. Oh man, I didn't have to worry about chow hall line then. I mean, we'd fix the guys' omelets. All the staff NCOs and higher. We'd fix
Omelets.
them. Oh yeah, omelets,
Chief
steaks. Man, them
Ortiz, I'm
guys.
so ashamed. You're not getting an omelet when I see you in Virginia Beach. If you're listening right now. Damn, omelets? What?
Omelets. Oh man, we just yeah. It was nice, man. I ate really good, but yeah, we had a really good time. And then we came back. We was over there from May to November of '86, and really the only thing was going on was the Libyan crisis was going on, and we handled that from the air. We had Marine jets come in and take care of that, drop the bombs on Gaddafi's lap, so we didn't have to worry about any kind of landing or anything. But we did have a problem with France. France wasn't letting us use their aerospace, coming back over.
Of course.
When yeah, it was just, imagine that. French people of all people, am I right?
Uh,
But I hope that's not bad. I shouldn't say that. But it was, but anyway,
gotta
we
love
was
the
in,
French.
what's that?
You gotta love the French.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't really, we was over there in two, 2 or 3 different cities there in France, and I had a good time. It wasn't too bad. But like I said, I spent 40 days in Naples because we were just trying to. One of our ships, our lead ship, was really damaged bad, and we all had to stay together, and so it took them 40 days just to repair it and get it taken care of and everything.
Did
What
you
happened to
So,
oh, sorry.
I just wonder what happened to it.
I can't. I just found this out recently. I'm on a Facebook page, USS Guam Facebook page. The ship is no longer in commission. Of course, I think they used it for target practice about 20 years ago or so. But anyway, they said something about the boilers, or because somebody posted on Facebook in '86. If anybody was on the ship in '86, do you remember the storm we went through? And I was like, oh yes, I do. And a bunch of other guys joined in, mostly sailors, saying, yeah, that's the reason why it was just a damaged ship. We didn't have any damage. It was just the USS Guam that had the damage. But we
Yeah.
had to wait. And from what I understand, they didn't even get it fully repaired.
Damn. What infantry unit were you attached to?
I was in the
this
second battalion. Huh?
were you
It
were
was
you with them on the Mew as well?
Yeah, I was in second battalion, second Marine Division,
2-2. Oh shit,
and
I know
yeah,
those guys. Yep.
and they were. I guess they had a pretty big deal over in Afghanistan or
Yep.
Iraq or something here a while back. But anyway, I was with them. I was actually attached to a line company, but like my job, uh, calling in airstrikes and medevacs, I carried a 45. I didn't have to hump. I didn't have to go anywhere. And I was with the CO all the time. So, it's like until the planes came in, we didn't have to, for our exercises or the practices, we didn't have to worry about, we just either sleep or, wait for something to happen. Now, I did have some interesting things happen. Going back to the 29 Palms the Yuma, Arizona, um, when I first got there to train, we had a gentleman with us. It was a second lieutenant, and he was like in his late 30s. This guy was getting ready to get gray and everything, but he he had just gotten his commission, and he was with Ford Air. So like we had artillery behind us that would mark our targets in front of us, so the jets could see it. And we were just at the time we were the only ones in the world that used this equipment. We had this thing called the Mule, and it's set up, and it'd shoot an azimuth out like a laser out to the target and back, and it'd tell us how far it was. And I'm sure they don't even have that complicated equipment like they used to. But anyway, the point is that artillery was behind us, and I'll never forget. We're talking about guys that are young. We're learning and everything, and this second lieutenant, he was a really good guy. He drops the mic on his radio, and we're like, "Sir, what's going on?" He goes, "This one might be a little close." He goes, "We might want to get down." And we just about that time we heard something, so everybody hit the deck, and sure enough, it didn't even go over us into the punch bowl. It landed right below us, and it took me off the ground about 2 or 3 feet. Yeah, I was like, man, and I mean, it was just one of those things. You hear about things like that, and when I was over in the Mediterranean, we got to we was in Oromandori island off of Italy, and we were doing an exercise with the Italian Air Force, and the guy that our CO, I think he was a captain, he was like, "Yeah, these guys have already been briefed. They know what our lingo is. They know what our talk is and everything. So, you know, just got him in. So, and they're coming in from the left of us and into the front of us, like at an L shaped perpendicular from where they're coming in at is the peninsula, and that's where they're bombing. So the jet is coming in, this Italian Air Force jet coming in, and he's flying towards us. And one of I can't remember who it was, one of the guys was like, okay, you gotta, I forget what he told him, but the guy kept coming towards us. And finally the captain grabs the handset, says, "Abort, over." And the guy just kept coming. He goes, "Abort, over." And he goes, "Everybody get down." The guy dropped a 500-pounder right at the bottom of the hill where we was at. And once again, it took me off the ground a couple of feet.
Holy shit.
It's like, yeah, I don't know if we ever worked with the Italians again or not on that, but I'll never forget that. It was interesting.
Jesus.
So,
Interesting. So,
doesn't everybody have these stories like I?
We hear all kinds of stories.
yeah.
Not too many of these. These are interesting. Yes. Um,
So you did
we
Med Cruise in '86.
Yeah.
I was on a Westpac in '86, so I was on the opposite
Okay.
world.
You was on the okay. Did you like it over there?
Loved it.
I heard a lot of. I never made it that far. A lot of guys said they really liked it over there. I
Yeah,
wish I would have reenlisted just to get over that side.
yeah.
So,
don't we all wish that we re-enlisted when they asked us
uh,
to? Shit, I'd be a first sergeant right now. Damn it, or a gunny.
yeah, they called me into the office like the very last day.
Ah,
I had already signed out, and the career jammer called me up there and like come up there, and he goes, hey man, if you sign this right now, we could fax it down to New Orleans, get an answer, here in a few hours, get you a duty station. And I'm like, no, I just want to go home. And about every other day, I think, man, I just wish I would have done 20. I don't think it would have been that hard. I think I could have done it.
No, it'll been
yeah,
20 years ago.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
20, yeah. Back then, not now, because it's our military. It's a little different of an animal than when
But
we were in.
yeah, I think it's kind of coming back. But who knows? The next president will probably fuck it up again.
I hope it. Hey, I hope it comes back. I know he's got our best intentions. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So, you did what? You did 4 years, Greg?
Yeah. I did 4 years. I got out in October of '88.
Jesus.
And
I got out in January of '88.
okay.
Wow,
A
you
little bit
guys
before
are
me.
kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Greg, what are you doing now? I mean, what's
I
what's
I have done so much, and I don't want to get into it too much, but when I got out, I just didn't know what to do. I mean, I had a guy tell me here about 4 or 5 years ago, a Marine that was in there for 12 years. He said, anybody that gets out, even if it's only 4 or 6 or 8 or 20, needs to be debriefed. And I agree because I had a really hard time trying to fit into civilian life. I mean, it was just, I don't know about you guys, but
Yep.
yeah, it was tough. I mean, you just don't want to take orders. It's like, who's this?
Who's
Who's
this?
this
Yeah.
guy?
Yep.
I mean,
Exactly.
I've been halfway around the world and back, and this guy's trying to tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like so I bounced around. I had a hard time really trying to find myself. And of course, like I said, I had ADHD, and that made it even harder for me. And so I kind of I always like numbers, and in,
I parked in the middle of the driveway, and I think she's mad.
oh,
She just took my keys, and she's just about to move my car and put it in the right place. Sorry, Greg, I didn't.
no, it's
That
okay.
was my wife,
Hey,
and yeah. Hey,
hey,
everybody,
we
that
all
was
got
my
to help
wife.
her,
Huh?
right? We all got to help her. Tell us how to show us how to drive.
I was a jackass. I just parked right in the middle of the damn driveway, and I didn't leave her any space. I was a selfish asshole today. Sorry. Sorry, Greg, continue.
Yeah. So anyway, man, it was probably not quite 20 years ago. I ran into this one guy. Him and I struck up a pretty good friendship. Found out that I really liked the entrepreneurial thing. I kind of got into a financial advisory type position. I have a life insurance license. I did that for quite a while, and I still like it. I don't know if I ever want to go back to that or not, but I thought about life coaching. But anyway, I did inventory control for the longest time because I like crunching numbers. And so I was working for one company that my wife works for. I was there about 7 years, and I hope it's safe to say that on the podcast here that I got removed from my position due to DEI.
Oh,
And
What?
yeah, yeah, I was in shipping. Had a really good job. Been there, like I said, I was there about 5 years, and they said, "Well, we're going to put you in shipping. We think you can do, we're going to, yeah." And then one day they came up to me and they said, "Hey, we you didn't." we didn't tell you that you was going to be in here forever, did we? Oh, well, no, you didn't. Well, we're going to put you back on the line again. So I went back to the same position I did when I first started there. 2 women took my position. And yeah, and my wife was like, maybe you just need to find something else. She's still with the company, but she works from home.
Right.
She's a trainer. And so anyway, I found a job doing well, it wasn't really inventory as much. It was shipping, but it was a little bit more physical work. And that's when I found out my hip was really starting to bother me. So the company I was working for was called Arrow. I hope I can say that on here. But anyway,
Yeah.
they make Conestogas, which is like the covered part of a flatbed, like it keeps the material covered up, the product. So anyway, I was doing that for about 6 months, and a guy came in, and one of our things that we did was we made toolboxes from underneath the flatbed. And he came in, he said, "Hey, I'm looking for CDL drivers." So about it'll be 3 years ago next month. Well, I quit in March and went to CDL school and got on with a company, and a guy trained me, and I got my CDL and everything, and that's what I do to this day. I'm local right now. I was all over the road for quite a few years. Or I wouldn't say quite a few, but for about 2.5, and then I found this local gig. So that's what I do. But, it's like I'm exploring my options. I love to, believe it or not, I like to podcast. I've done a podcast, and I want to get back into life coaching is what I want to do. People
Oh,
that just, pardon?
Fleek, that might be. Hey, Fleek, you might need somebody
I
because you've
mean, it
got another.
just,
Hey, honey, can you come here for a second? Can you say hi to everybody? That's my wife, guys.
hi, nice to meet you.
Bye, babe. Are you mad at me? Yeah, she's mad at me. So, yeah, I'll see you downstairs, babe. I love you. Give me 20 minutes, maybe 30.
But one of the things I like is I love to hear success stories from people. Just I knew a guy that I met a guy that he was from Buffalo, New York, and lived out here. I live in Columbus, Indiana now, south of Indianapolis. But he worked on my iPhone about 15 years ago and put a new screen in, and he was just doing it part time. And he just had a really interesting story, and I kind of lost track of him. And then one day, his picture showed up on my Facebook, friend suggestion or whatever it was. And so I friended him. Well, he got really good at taking apart Apple, and he had his own office. He got a job with one of the local NFL team here in Indianapolis,
The
the
Colts?
local profession. Yeah, yeah, doing their fixing their iPads,
Damn.
iPhones, everything. He was doing. He would put on his Facebook, "Yeah, I'm going to Ursay's house. Um, they got an iPad that needs to be worked on." And he was doing. I think he got the Pacers account too. Maybe the Indy Fuel, which is the hockey team. Yeah.
Reggie,
So
what? Reggie, what?
Miller?
What's his
yeah,
name?
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
That's right.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Damn.
Yeah.
That guy was good.
Yeah. Indiana's such a good basketball state. We had to go out to Boston to teach people how to play. That's why we
Oh,
sent Larry Bird out there.
Don't even. No.
I'm just kidding. I heard
Celtics.
you guys
Really,
talking about
you're attacking. You're gonna attack. You're gonna attack the Red Sox too? Because I think they just.
no.
I think they
Man, I'll
just.
tell you what, I was glad to see that they won the World Series. I'm a Cubs fan, man. I always root for the underdog.
The
I know it's
Cubbies.
tough being a Cubs fan.
It's tough being a Cubs fan. Freak.
I'm a Blackhawks fan too.
Cubs are number 1 right now.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. They got a good team,
Yeah,
got a good
Blackhawks.
pitching
Come
staff and
on.
everything.
Hey, Chris
But yeah,
Chelios was great. He was awesome for the Blackhawks. That's the only player that I know from the Blackhawks. Chris
that's all
Chelios.
right.
That's it.
the Blackhawks
But
make the playoffs.
hey,
They
you know
made the
what?
playoffs? No, they're like bottom. They're bottom of the barrel too, right?
Yeah.
Bruins, well, this year they're not having a really good game, season, but
Here's a little
they've had them.
Andrew, because you're a hockey guy. This is the first year in NHL history that the original the 4 teams that represent the original 6 in the United States, all four
Didn't make it.
of them did not make the playoffs for the first time.
That's
Or
terrible.
hockey's about the only sport that really hasn't gone belly up. I mean, they still,
Yeah,
basketball is just not like it. NBA is just not like it was.
Nope.
Well, back when Reggie was playing, I mean,
close.
they scored 80, 90 points a game. Now they score, there's just no defense.
Or Larry from your home state, Larry
Yeah.
Bird. He's from where's he
Yeah.
from in Indiana?
French Lick.
French Lick, Indiana. That's right.
He's a legend. Larry
He's
Legend,
all
man.
right. Fleek says he's all right. That's good. And you know what's funny? Fleek runs another podcast called The Nosebleed Report, and they talk. That's all they do, is they talk about sports, and it's really good. He's really insightful. Guys out there, if if this isn't your cup of tea, The Nosebleed Report or Fleek's other podcast, the Hope podcast. Yes, he's got 3. He's
Okay.
kind of an entrepreneur when it comes to podcasting.
That's all right. I like I do one called The Successful Journey.
Oh,
And
is that on Spotify?
yeah, and I haven't done it. I haven't touched it in a long time, and I need to get back into it. We just moved into our house about a year ago. With my hip being bad, I'm just setting my office and my studio up. I've got a microphone back here. I got one here. I'm still trying to learn my keyboard, my soundboard. I'm hoping to get some maybe some kind of advice, from people to help me out. Yeah, if you guys know of anybody, or
No.
if you guys
Talk to
can.
Fleek. He
Okay,
did this. We started this, right? Or he started this, and then he asked me to come on. And we were doing this at his house. Like, we live like 6 hours away from you, Greg. We live in Tennessee.
yeah, it's what
So we're like right down the road. But like Fleek and I, we would meet at his house and interview. And then he brought on StreamYard. And then that was okay. Then it got pricey. And now we're on this Riverside, which is great. I love it.
I heard Riverside is awesome.
And Fleek, you're doing like the year thing, right? The year trial.
Yeah, I paid for a year.
And
in the Riverside.
Yes, sir.
It's
now,
awesome.
do they have a free service?
I do
You can
have a free one where you could use it for a couple hours a month, but yeah, I'm almost positive they do have a free version of it.
Okay. Well, about 10 years ago, my brother-in-law went to prison,
Sorry about that.
and it was kind of a high-profile thing of who he was with. But he was in there for about 2 months, and he asked me. He goes, I'm meeting these guys in here. One guy kind of saved him, stopped him from committing suicide. And he goes, "Hey, I want you to look this guy up, see if you can find him." So I started looking these guys up. Next thing I knew, I started sending money to help him out. Like one guy that I talked to named Doug, he's down in Terre Haute now. He was out in Phoenix or Arizona, one of the prisons out there. He's in Terre Haute now, prison just down the road from us. And he had boots. He told me he was overweight. He couldn't go out on the track because he said, well, unless you got tennis shoes. So my wife and I, we pulled some money together, and my daughter, and got him, bought him some shoes. And those guys don't, and I'm not justifying anything. I really not. I mean, I know they got to, they're in there, they got to do their time. They did that crime or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But some of those guys, a lot of those guys, they get treated like dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, expired food and everything, and and the commissary stuff is just so outrageous. And my brother-in-law, his dad, my father-in-law, and I don't want to say he's rich, but he's he's not hurting.
Well
He's
off.
able to.
He's well off.
Yeah, exactly, and he's able to keep my brother-in-law. But anyway, I sent money to this, my friend Doug. But I started meeting these guys, and next thing I knew, I got a prison ministry. So I write letters. I just, we've been trying to get the house ready and everything, and my hip, and I'm down for about 6 more weeks probably. But I've been thinking about I've been writing down ideas, because I wouldn't mind getting out of trucking. I'll be 61 next month, so
You should do you should interview inmates when they get out.
Ooh,
That's huge.
yeah, dude.
You know, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that. That's a good
No,
idea.
Yeah.
that's a good idea, Fleek.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, you do got good ideas
Yeah.
sometimes.
I think
One of the guys. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think that would be a huge hit.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. One of the guys that I kept in touch with, he just got out recently, and he's got a business plan and everything. He's getting his life together, and I love seeing that because I don't want these guys to give up. Man, I mean, you know, there's so many. It's like, you know, people talk about going to college and everything. It's like, man, you can go on the internet and learn anything you want to learn, you know, within reason. You know, I mean, you can't be a doctor or anything like that. But, you know what I'm saying though? I mean, there's just a lot of ways to learn or
Yeah.
to get educated, you know, but it's like, you know, these guys, they just, you know, I really encouraged John, the guy that he just got out recently. I encouraged him, but like I said, there wasn't much. I just told him, I said, he can do this. He already had a business plan. He wrote it up when he was in prison.
That's awesome.
So
Greg,
yeah,
that's great because I know I know what it's like. You know, to come out of that situation.
Uh-oh.
I've known to break the not bend but break and bend a couple laws, and yes, you know it sticks with you, and
Yeah, just
people go out and they try to use that shit against you when you're doing well and when you've
later.
overcome your problems. Like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I was a drop down drunk. I mean, 2 DUIs, um, you know, first time offense, you know, and everybody already knows about it. Um, but like it's a stigma, and people will use that to try and take you down. And you know what? And if it's other veterans doing it, then shame on them. Um, but like you talking to these guys, that there is a silver lining out there, that's fantastic because there is a silver lining out there and it's just in your past and don't think about it and keep on moving forward.
yeah,
Exactly. That's awesome,
and
Greg.
I was kind of in the same boat. I don't know how much time we got here, but I just wanted to say, you know, I've already learned how to drink before in the Marine Corps. I just elevated it to the next level in the Marine
Uh,
Corps. I was pretty much an alcoholic. And then when I got out, I got a DUI and spent the night in jail. And it's like, you know, I learned, but it only took that one time to learn my lesson.
Right. He didn't.
But a lot
I
of,
did it twice. I didn't learn. That was bad.
yeah.
So,
And that happens. I mean, you know, it could have been, I could have had more than one, you know, like there's times that I broke or bent that law, but I was fortunate enough to either make it home that night or, you know, whatever the case.
You know, the Stoics, they say this thing: to endure pain is actually to live. Like going through these painful experiences will get you ready for life and life as it is. I was a classical studies major in college, and I was just reading a lot about the Stoics again from my younger years, and experiences and pain give us life. Okay, and we can't shy away from stuff that makes us afraid or makes us bashful or shy or embarrassed. Because if we do that, then we're letting fear, which will equate to evil, take over. And you know what? And Greg, you're doing that. You're giving people hope. And that's what we need. And that's what this podcast, and when Fleek founded this, we wanted to give people hope by listening to other veteran stories. So it's all in a symbiotic life that we have here to share our pain, share our experiences to get people ready. Like, oh, damn, they've experienced the same thing I've experienced. Well, that's not bad. I can still continue on, and that's what Fleek is. That's his whole idea behind this whole podcast was to counter suicide ideation, to have you keep on going on, to live your life to the fullest.
yes.
I hope that was okay, Fleek. I'm sorry. I was getting a little
Man,
existential with that
Oh, I
one.
loved it. That was great. That was awesome.
So, Greg, we do have a little bit of time. I do have to ask you, what's your number 1 through 10, and not 3 and 7?
don't screw it up, Greg.
Don't screw it up. Give me a number.
I've always been a fan of number 6.
Ooh,
That was
number
Dr. J's
6.
number. I
Number
was a big
6.
Julius Irving fan. Yes.
That's right. Oh, Dr. J, baby. That's right. All right, here's the question. How did you stay motivated and resilient during the toughest times in your service?
I knew there was only one way out, and I just had to do what I had to do to get out. It was like when I went through boot camp and I got set back a couple weeks. When I was just sitting there, because when you're in that physical conditioning platoon, the only thing you do is just, and every day you get up and you run, you do pull ups, you do sit ups,
And then
and then
eat
you
a
come back.
cracker. And
Yeah.
then do
And
it again.
yeah. And you come back to the barracks and you sit at the barracks all day long. And I knew that there's only one way to get out of here. I can't, at the time, I'm thinking in my head, I can't leave. I can't just walk out of here. So my only thing was, okay, we've got to do this. When I do my pull ups, I've got to get that minimum and get into a regular unit and then start losing some weight and get out of here. I lost 41 pounds in boot camp.
Damn.
God bless you. Wait, you did? Damn.
That's
Wait a minute.
12 weeks.
I came in weighing 196 and I came out weighing 155. I was putting on clothes I wore in the 8th grade when I was 20. And I remember the day I wanted to get weighed because I wanted to get off my diet because I couldn't eat like gravy on potatoes and stuff like that. And, that was kind of a motivation too. I wanted to it was like 3 weeks left for graduation. I wanted to taste what this food was that and so
I hope you put ketchup on the eggs because they taste like shit.
yeah. And I just, I told them that night, when they came around and asked if we had any personal or medical problems to report. I said, I got a personal problem. They said, what is it, Edwards? I said, I want to get weighed tomorrow. And they said, Edwards, we'll let you go. You're still a fat ass, but I only weighed 155 pounds. It's like, we'll let you go, or you're still a fat ass.
You could be the thinnest guy ever and they would call you a fat ass. I swear to
Yeah.
God. Damn.
So, yeah, that's my motivation, though, right there.
That is awesome motivation, Greg. And to be right with you, I actually just tallied. I came to boot camp at 230. I was 192 when I left, so I lost about 38 pounds.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
But I did not. I was a turtle. I didn't go to the PCP, but I can't run for shit. I was like, I'd have to go ahead before the rabbits because I was a terrible runner. I was god fucking awful. Holy shit. What battalion were, by the way, what battalion were you?
I was in 2102. Gosh, let's see. I got it on the
I was
wall.
I was 2081, baby.
Yeah, 2102. I
Second
think it was
battalion.
Fox Company. I still got the
Ah,
platoon photo.
so is it. Hey,
Hey, man,
2081 Fox Company,
fearless
baby.
Fox. Yeah, to this day, I remember my DIs, what they look like, what
Gunny
they sound
Bruno.
like, what their names were.
Oh,
It's been 41 years, almost 41.
God,
And it's
God
like, I can
bless.
still hear their name. I can still hear them in words.
Oh, dude.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's,
Do you remember yours, Fleek?
no, that was 4 decades ago.
I know. You were such a young sailor.
Hey, by the way, I was thinking of names for your new podcast for interviewing inmates. From cell to self.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh,
I
that's
like
a good
that.
one.
I like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's all yours.
Hey,
Thanks.
Fleek,
There it is, man.
did you use ChatGPT for that or did you come on that on your own?
I was just thinking of stuff.
Okay.
I love
Damn.
you guys' intro, man.
Yeah. Fleek, about the intro, can we add the national anthem in there again sometime in the next couple of months? Because I kind of miss it. I mean, I love it, But I would love to hear the national anthem.
Yeah,
Man,
it used to be the national anthem, but then the lady that's speaking during all the events that we have sent people through, that was one of our guests. She was an Army veteran,
yeah,
and she's awesome.
she is.
Healy.
That's right. That's right. But Greg, you have been a great interviewee today. So thank you so much, man. It's good to talk to another Marine, and I'm glad, and another guy who likes the ship life as much as I do, and as much as Fleek. Fleek loved the ship life. I mean, shit, he was on that damn ship for like 4 years.
Midrat.
Oh man.
Midrats.
Midrats is awesome.
Midrats is amazing.
If you know, you know.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Fleek, do you have any saved rounds?
I do not, man. Like I spent it all on the podcast title.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that was it. Now that's it. I'm done. I gave him the name. I'm out.
I was originally thinking a way out, but it could be from cell to self hyphen a way out, something like that.
That's not bad. That could be a book
Yeah.
too.
I like that. Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I mean, I've always wanted to write a book. Not just it's not about the money, but it's
No,
about getting the story out there. You know, I mean, I want to write a book on success stories, people that just came up from nothing. But yeah, that's a good. I like that. Yeah,
no,
that's a good idea.
that's fantastic, man. We need more. I mean, I'm thinking about doing a book about a biography of me, because Fleek he inspired me, and I just wrote like different paragraphs and different chapters that I'm going to have. I haven't started yet, but I have an outline of what I'm going to write about. And you're thinking about doing a book. Fleek has already done a book,
Oh
which we
wow.
still need to do that second book, Fleek, and I still need to come over to your damn house.
Yeah, I need a cookbook. It's all part of the entertainment thing that I've been putting together. Podcast, cookbook, nonprofit, it all ties together. So I did.
Greg,
I
you
love
would love his cookbook. It's awesome.
I love cooking, right? So my two favorite things is cooking and talking to veterans. So I had this idea, why don't I write a cookbook? And inside the pages, next to the recipes, I interjected quotes from my podcast, TSP. So, there might be like a marinara recipe, and then right next to it, you got Al Lippard talking about a 4-day firefight in Vietnam.
And killing 15 people and not knowing he did it.
Yeah. So it was a very
Mm.
book, man. It was awesome. So I just use it to spread awareness,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
But Greg, thank you so much for this this time that we shared.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I felt honored
Yeah,
to be
we
interviewed.
appreciate you jumping on, man. It was great.
Fleek, I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow night too.
Yes, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
All right. See you guys.
Hold on.
Thanks a lot.
Hold on for 1 second there, Greg.
Hold on for 1 second, Greg.